This presentation on video tours and inspection videos is brought to you by virtuallyincredible.com. My name is Todd Breen, and since 1985 I've been a full-time real estate broker, a property manager, and a landlord investor in Palm Beach County, Florida, where I own a real estate brokerage and a property management company. And what you're about to learn is how we use videos at my company for the last 17 years, since 1994. And it's a really creative and unique way to work videos into not only how we rent our properties, but how we manage them as well. So let's get started with a $50,000 question. If videography was as easy as photography, would you try it? The good news is it is easy and not many people are doing it yet. The other good news is that $50,000 is about what we make each year in direct video revenues at my management company. Stay tuned and we'll talk more about that. The bad news, however, is that because it's so easy, everyone's going to be doing it soon. So to get started, you're going to need the right camcorder, which we talk about, as well as some lessons and practice. Now, I've got some polling questions throughout this presentation to give you an idea of what percentage of the real estate community is using video. So when we did a national webinar with hundreds of people, these are the votes that came in when we asked this question, and only 11% said they were using videos a lot. And the remaining 90% said, well, a little or hardly at all, or nothing. And so the opportunity to get in right now ahead of the curve is very, very good. So before we get into how easy it is, I want to just explain to you that if you own a digital camera and you've taken marketing photos of a rental home, uploaded photos to any website, you're already there. Shooting a video is as easy as taking a picture. It's the same technology. And uploading an unedited video to the internet is easy too. Editing videos is what's complex. And it's also time consuming. Even if you can learn how to do it, it's time consuming. And what we teach is an unedited video tour and an unedited inspection video. It's super easy, takes very little time. So let's begin with a video success story that has to do with acquiring new owners. This is an actual letter from an owner about our video program. It's from a gentleman named Kevin, and he brought us a 32-unit apartment complex, and he said he'd been through 5 managers in less than 5 years. Now, most people wouldn't want to sign up a property like that because it's indicative of a problem. And he went on to say that out of sight and out of mind had become his operating model and that the place was in bad shape. And when we took it over, there was drug dealers, felons, the property was run down, and believe it or not, it was only 55% occupied. And half of those tenants weren't paying very well and needed to be recycled. So he went on to say that because of our video program, he said that videos are as close as you can get to being on site and seeing the property with your own eyes. And when he considered us against our competitors, he chose us because he had learned not to assume all was well with his property. And that last paragraph is key. He says, we now receive timely emailed links to videos of every vacated apartment and every freshly renovated apartment. So let's have a look at what Kevin gets. Now, this is an edited sample for the purpose of today's presentation. It's not a complete one. It just shows you how well you can document the condition of a property with a camcorder. So this door frame has either been chewed by a dog or otherwise damaged. Once again, we've got no smoke alarm. One's hardwired, hasn't been installed. Both sides. So we need a new door. Okay. So this, if you look at it closely, is a white tub with an almond paint job. The paint job is not doing so well. In fact, it's goes into the tile. That's not very attractive. So what we're going to lead to a lot of problems if that doesn't get grouted. So process. And that, folks, is the end of this tour. Thanks for tuning in. This is Todd Breen saying over and out on April the 14th, 2000. and 10. So there you get an idea of how powerful these videos are. If it made you respond like the people who watch this in a live presentation, you can watch their faces as they go, ooh. And the fact is, you can really communicate to an absentee owner the exact shape of a property so clearly with a video. So he calls these a very powerful tool for property managers. And I want you to read these next couple of paragraphs because it's pretty amazing to see a property owner admit to this. In his letter, he says, "It's always been too easy for me to dismiss a description of a problem as an exaggeration." And if you've been managing property, I'm sure you know that when an owner does that, it's really, really tough to manage their property. And he says it's more difficult to hide from a problem when it's clearly framed in a video. So how effective was this? In 6 months, this fellow gave us over $100,000 to improve the property. Now, when we signed up the property, the gentleman that we took over the management from said, "You know what, good luck. I'm glad you're taking this property over because I've been beating my head against the wall for a year trying to get them to invest money in the property." And he said, "They just won't give me any money." And I said, "Well, I understand." And in 6 months, this guy that owns the place, Kevin, gave us this money because he believed that it was necessary, and the results were that videos did what the 5 previous managers could not do. That's pretty cool. Now, our next case study is about a prospective resident. His name is Coffee, and he wrote to us that it was very easy for him to move from another state to Florida because he was able to see the property online as our website came with a complete video tour. And he really liked how quickly he could interact with our company with the video and all the other tools we had. So there's a little screenshot of our website, and you can see some photos. And under the photos, if you were to look real closely, it says this one has 11 photos and a video. And so we actually promote the fact that we have videos on our website. When they open up one of the property listings, you can actually get a full motion video tour hosted by YouTube in our property listings. And so Coffee said, basically, he watched the video and then applied online. He was in another state, and it was such a compelling video, and he felt such a degree of comfort that he was able to do that. So his application was quickly processed, and he was able to move without any stress. And when he arrived, he says the property was exactly as described in the video. And he really liked working with a company that made it that easy for him to move. Good news is Coffee is actually renewed for a second year, and every month when somebody moves into one of our properties with these types of videos, we get the same response. "Wow, this is cool. You saved me a trip. Thank you for doing that." Now, I will just put in a real quick disclaimer. Depending on how well you shoot your videos, which we train you how to do them the way we do it, but if you were to try it on your own, I would suggest getting legal counsel on whether or not you should do a sight unseen transaction and try and hold someone to a contract based on a video. We're so comfortable and confident in the way we shoot our videos that we never have our deals fall apart. So we don't mind telling a prospective tenant, "Listen, if you show up and the place isn't to your liking, you don't have to take it." And they never take us up on that because they're so happy to get the property that's exactly as described in our videos. Pretty interesting stuff. If you're wondering how to shoot video tours, if you can walk and talk at the same time, you really can do this. And what you're about to see is some advice and instructions that I've created for my office staff because all of my agents and managers shoot their own videos. It began with me doing it and coming up with a system I liked, and then coming up with a training vehicle to get everyone in my company to do it the same way. So I always say, film like you're showing the property to a friend. And that makes it a very, very good way to shoot your video. And I've got a ton of other advice in the paid training section of virtuallyincredible.com where you can learn how to do this. And I'll just give you some real quick excerpts from this how to make a video tour video that we created so you can get an idea what it's like. Okay, folks, here we are at 9846 Daisy in Palm Beach Gardens. This is a beautiful single-family home in a very attractive neighborhood. Before we go in, I'm going to give you a quick idea of what the street looks like so you get an idea who your neighbors will be. Everyone seems to keep their lawns pretty well, as you can see. And the homes are well kept. When we first go in, what I like to do is I like to give you a layout of the property before I show it to you. So when you come in the front door, you'll notice you've got the kitchen. Behind it, you've got the one-car garage. Here you've got an L-shaped living dining area. Behind it, you've got a Florida room. And off to the right, we have 2 bedrooms and the 1.5 bath. So let's give you the tour. Now, you don't see the original June Cleaver stoves. I'm not sure, is that pink or lavender? I like it though. It's got a nice feel to it. And it's in good condition. And so I stopped it there. You get an idea of how a well-run video tour really does educate and inform the viewer about the house. And so just to give you an idea of how well it works, stop for a minute and think about that home that you just walked through virtually. And that's only excerpts of it, okay? Do you have an idea how it's laid out? What it looks like? Would you have gotten that information from a handful of photos? And you didn't even see the full video tour. And so if a picture is worth 1,000 words, how many words is a video worth? Well, we think they're worth it, and we do them all the time. And so here's some interesting statistics from my management company. Since 2006, none of our virtual deals have fallen through. So that's going on 5 years into our 6th year. In 2010, almost 20% of our new tenants leased from us virtually. So that's almost 1 in 5 tenants coming to us because they looked at our homes online and decided to take them from a video tour even though they weren't in the area. Now, this next one is critically important. More homes are leased before they go vacant. What are property owners paying us for if not to keep their properties full? When is the highest incidence of turnover in our management contracts? When do owners cancel their management agreements with us? When a property is vacant. If you can get a property re-rented using videos and have a new lease signed before it goes vacant, it has a dramatic impact on the renewal rate for your management agreements. Also, tenants are cooperating with our pre-screened showings because they know that people have previewed the video and they're very keenly interested. And the truth is, we don't have to show a home nearly as often when we've got a video online, because when people see the video and then come see the house, they take it a lot more than they don't. And so our closing rates for home showings have increased dramatically when we have listings with video tours. All very cool stuff. Now this is interesting. Since photos and written descriptions connect with only one of the 4 ways we remember and process information, I'm in the middle of creating a new video training series that teaches how to connect with all 4 levels of our memory processing system. And why is that important? I routinely talk to renters and home buyers who say, we're looking at hundreds of homes online. Back in the day when we had classified ads and no pictures, people would, have to put a lot of time and effort into the shopping process. And they didn't have the opportunity to look at hundreds of homes. Now they do, and they are. And so when somebody looks at hundreds of homes, you want yours to be memorable. You want them to remember your place and compare and contrast others to it. And other agents and other companies that can't provide as memorable or completely detailed description of the property as we do, and as you can, because you'll be doing videos, if they can't compete with that, people remember your videos during the shopping process, and it really helps you. So we're creating a course entitled Video Marketing Strategies to Increase Online Sales or Leasing of Rental Properties. And we've hired a neuroscientist named Dr. David Petersville, who is an expert. He's got 2 PhDs, and he really understands virtual cognition and memory functions. And we're building some really creative ways to create these video tours to drive a message home to the viewer that that's going to be their next home. It's going to be exciting, so stay tuned for an opportunity to learn more about that. Now, once you've shot your videos, you have to distribute them. And so YouTube is going to become your next best friend in marketing, and I'll tell you why. If your website doesn't host video right now, no problem. You can still put the video in the remarks field. And we do give you training on how to do that inside of our member section. We give you all of the help and assistance it takes no matter what you're doing, even if you don't use a website. We can tell you how you can video market your properties with online videos even without a website. So the first thing you have to do is create your own YouTube channel, and we'll teach you how to do that. Upload your videos to it, and put a video link in your ads and send your videos out by email. So if somebody calls you and says, I'd like to see the place, you can say, well, give me your cell phone number or give me your email address, and we'll shoot you a video on it so you can preview it. Make sure it's something you're interested in. They'll either say no thanks, or they'll say, I really want to see that place. And the ones that really want to see it end up taking it. So here's an example of a Craigslist ad, and it's basically an online newspaper ad. And about halfway down the page, you'll see that blue underlined hyperlink. That's the link to the ad in YouTube where they can see the video. So in the ad titles, we just say video, and people will go, that's different. So we get a lot more action on our ads because we have videos in them. So let's have some fun with our video tours. What happens if a tenant refuses showings? Or if there's pets there that are messed the place up, or it's hard to show with the pets, or there's some damage? We can still show the property in the condition it was in before these tenants moved in by showing that video, and then just stating to the prospective tenant that we'll make the property in comparable condition at move-in, or they don't have to take it. That's a better chance at renting it than you're going to get by waiting until it's vacant to fix it up and show it. Wouldn't you agree? So that's been working for us. Another thing that's really cool, staff turnover. If you have a new manager assigned to 100 units and there's 100 video tours in your filing system on these units, that new manager can familiarize themselves with their inventory before they talk to an owner or a tenant about a specific issue. They can just pop up a few minutes of video tour, and it's as if they were there. When they talk to their owner or tenant of the property, and they have that first-hand recollection of the property, it builds instant trust, confidence, and loyalty in a new manager. That's powerful. That's another key time when you can lose accounts is at staff turnover. And so by getting new people up to speed right away with the inventory, you really do make it a smoother transition. Also, all of our agents, our leasing agents, love these videos because they don't have to go out and look at the property in order to know what it's like. They can preview it from their own computers. So they really like having the video tours. Now, what would a virtual competitive market analysis look like? This is a townhome, and it's in one of those communities where there's cookie cutter, identical floor plans. And we've sent owners some CMAs like this virtually. Instead of printing it, we actually email it to them. And those blue hyperlinks on the property addresses are to the YouTube video tours of the property. And we call them a virtual competitive rental market analysis. And my only question for you about this is two questions. Do you think it'll help the owner to understand why you recommend a certain price for their property? And do you think it would persuade the owner to list with you versus someone else who doesn't use this technology? A couple of good questions. So now, before we get into inspection videos, let me give you a brief history of my use of videos. I started doing video inspections in 1994. Since then, I filmed thousands of homes. I leased my first home with a video in 96, and it's a pretty funny story. We had a sign in the yard. We had a tenant who wouldn't cooperate with showings. And he said, "Do you have any pictures of it?" And of course, this was kind of before we used the internet at all to market properties. So I said, "No, I don't." And he said, "Wow, if I could just have a look at it, I would take it." And I said, "Well, since the tenant's not cooperating with showings, tell you what, why don't you come down to the office and I'll let you watch the video that I ran of the property before this tenant moved in. It's an inspection video. It's nothing much." He said, "Fine." So he came down, we popped it into the VCR TV combo in the conference room. When it was done playing, he looked at me and he said, "Will it look like this when I move in?" I said, "If not, you don't have to take it." Well, he signed a lease, and at move in, we made the place look good, and he said thank you, and he moved in. He lived there for several years. And I said to myself, wow, this is powerful. And I couldn't wait for the internet to make it so easy for us to distribute like it is now. In 2005, I was a beta tester for Flix.com in their real estate video marketing. And you can see in those pictures, those are the racks of VHS-C videotapes that we still have in our office. I call it the Tower of Power. And if you're not sure why, stay tuned, because this gets really good. So let's look at real estate ads. Again, back in the 90s is when the internet came around, and all of a sudden agents had to go out and buy digital cameras and learn to be photographers because everyone wanted their home on the internet with photos. And so that was a different time for real estate agents, because prior to that, they didn't have to become publishers. Because isn't that what we do when we put a listing with photos and written descriptions on the internet? Don't we publish a description of it? Well, all of a sudden, everyone had to learn to take a decent photograph, or take a bunch of them, and how to do all this technology. My question for you is, are videos next? And with the increase in technology and how simple it is to do some of the things you're about to see, you'd be surprised. I think this is going to be the wave of the future. So let's look back at the internet. In 1998, Google was founded. Hard to remember life without Google. But it's really made people change their shopping habits, because the instant access to information has made internet marketing go from optional to vital. In 2006, Google paid a lot of money, $1.65 billion for YouTube, and I didn't understand why. I said, I don't get it. This is a bunch of kids riding their skateboards down a ramp and into a swimming pool. Why would YouTube be worth so much money? Well, I think I'm starting to get it. Google bought YouTube with an eye on future search trends. Just YouTube it. I remember the first time somebody said, just Google it, and I thought to myself, did they say Google as a verb? Well, it's true for YouTube now as well. Let's look at this. The number 1 and 2 websites in the world are kind of a toss-up between Google and Facebook. It kind of depends who you ask and what statistic we're evaluating. But let's just say Google and Facebook are the biggest 2 websites in the world. Can you tell me what the third is? You might be surprised to learn that the third is YouTube. And you might also be surprised to learn that Google is currently at war with Facebook. And I'll tell you why. Facebook has come out of nowhere to become the number 1 or rival to number 1 website in the world, and they're taking some of Google's market share. And so now Google is trying really hard to get their stuff used, Google and YouTube used as much as Facebook is, because that represents revenue and market share. So oddly enough, Yahoo is not even used as much as YouTube is. And that surprises people, because I know a lot of people are spending time and money getting their sites found on Yahoo and ignoring YouTube. And that's a little eye-opener to some people. So here's something about Google and YouTube. Traffic on your YouTube channel can increase your site's ranking on Google. The reason is Google really wants sites to have fresh, relevant, multimedia content, so that people don't only get that from Facebook. Because if you think about it, you go to Facebook, there's photos, there's videos, and there's always fresh, relevant content for you to read. So that's why people spend so much time there. Google wants that to be the case now for the sites that are found on their search engine as well. So if you've got a YouTube channel and a lot of good videos that people actually watch, Google's going to knock you up the ranks. In the first month that we had a YouTube channel, traffic to our website increased dramatically. And one other thing that I'm going to point out is now videos are actually being served up in the search results on Google. And this is a screenshot to give you an example of a company that got their videos so well placed on the internet that they came up before the organic first place search results. Exciting stuff. We're working on that in our member section as a member benefit. It's a really cool way to get your company promoted and found. So listen, this is an interesting exercise. Last month I did a presentation to the leading property managers of Australia, and to prepare for it I looked up the company that had the biggest presence on YouTube, and I looked at their videos. And so Ray White Real Estate, they sold over $25 billion in Australia in 2009. And their videos are all professionally produced. And the YouTube traffic is actually sent to the professional production company's YouTube channel. Do you see that? It says Visual Domain Media under the second arrow there. It's not Ray White Real Estate's YouTube channel. So they're missing the opportunity to get all of this traffic and search engine optimization credit from Google from all of these video views. So how does this compare to my property management company? The first column is when you outsource your videos. The second is if you do them yourself, like I'm going to show you and how we do. So the cost, I called up the company that produced those videos, and approximately $200 per video tour. That compares to ours, which are free. The time it takes to produce the lighting, the camera, the action, the makeup, and the staging is 2 hours minimum. They say 2 to 4 hours. Our videos take about 15 minutes. The viewer perception, now this is your customers. They look at the videos with the edits and the slickness and the music tracks and the titles, and they say, well, this is more routine marketing. Our videos that are unedited and are narrated by a real estate agent, they provide some reality intrigue because they know it's live TV, as it were. It's not edited, it's not fancy. This is an honest-to-goodness person walking through a house they're considering living in and showing it to them. That's a lot different than the routine marketing that you would be getting if you were to pay someone to do your videos. It's actually better to give people this reality show intrigue if you want to deliver the message in a credible way. And we're all about making you virtually credible here at virtuallyincredible.com. And this is what you're going to do with this type of video. Memorability, another slideshow, another slick marketing video. You don't really remember them that well. But when you do one of our walkthrough tours, it's as if you personally walk through that home, and we hit so many areas of your memory function, it really is as if you were there and you remember it that way. Now, this one's pretty interesting. The best conversion is for someone to watch one of these professionally made videos that are very incomplete, by the way. They don't show the entire home. And they want you to call for a showing. Customers don't always want to do that. In our case, our highest conversion is, hey, they actually will do a virtual transaction with us. Or they'll call us because they're excited to see the property and come and take it. So I really like our system for those reasons. Now, before we get into security claims, let's talk about some questions here. Do your tenants ever dispute damage claims, get upset with you, threaten you, take you to court, report you to consumer advocate agencies or consumer affairs? And then these last two, which are perhaps the most expensive, which is write poor reviews about you online or damage your brand. You know, the day was that if somebody didn't like you, you had one person out there that didn't like you. Now, if somebody doesn't like you and they post it on the internet, that opinion can really cost you untold thousands of dollars. And it's important that you send people away from your business feeling fairly treated, even if they're not happy with the results. It's the unfair treatment that makes people complain about you online. And so if those are the situations that you're experiencing, then here's the results of, again, a very large webinar survey that was done. And the vast majority of people deal with these problems all the time. And you might be saying, yeah, I deal with these too. Well, I got news for you folks. We don't. At my company, we prepare our claims using before and after videos. And if you look on that photo, you'll see that Tammy is sitting at a desk with 2 computer monitors. And she can actually put a video up in one and be preparing work orders, claims, and letters and emails to people based on the video. And we're really, really good at watching a video before, watching a video after, and making an ironclad claim. And you can be too. If somebody does want to fight or discuss it, we don't really fight. We just say, hey, would you like us to send you a link to the videos? That solves the majority of the problems before they even start. So we use our videos to stay out of court. And I'll tell you what, when I first started doing videos, I couldn't wait to go to court and win, because I'd gone to court and had a hard time winning, or I'd gone to court and lost when I knew I didn't deserve to lose. And so I remember about a year after I did my first inspection video, going to court with my TV VCR and my videotape, and we played it for the judge and we won. And we laughed, and the victory was short-lived because I realized how much time I had spent preparing for court and then going to court, and how much money it had cost. And even though we'd won, I still think we lost. And what's funny is that my management company, we haven't been to court in over 10 years, and we really do make honest, fair, real claims against everybody's deposits, but they're fair. And so here's a quick video with Tammy so that you can get an idea of what it's like for her using inspection videos for 8 years at our company. We're here with Tammy, and Tammy, you are a property manager with our company. How long have you been with us?
I joined the company in 2003.
Okay. Tell me about the videos that we do before and after our tenancies and how you've used those.
We compare those for security deposit claims, and we base our security deposit claims on those videos.
Have you ever had an experience where you've used a video in a negotiation or discussion with a tenant?
Absolutely, yes. Early on, when we were using the old VHS tapes.
Oh yeah, I remember those days.
We would invite the tenant into our office to view the videos should they have a dispute.
Mm-hmm.
Only one person took me up on that, and it was a couple. They came in, they watched the move-in video, and then they said they didn't need to see the move-out video. They understood, and thank you for our time.
So that was a fast conversation.
And so there was, when you have a video, there's really nothing to dispute. It's very clear.
But if you think about it, the way you shot the video, the pre-move-in video,
correct,
was so compelling that they didn't even want to see the post-move-out.
Absolutely. With the proper training that we've received, we learn what exactly to point out, how to shoot the video, in order to make it very credible, especially when tenants have been in place for a couple of years. They forget that, oh, oops, maybe I did ding this.
Sure.
Maybe it was my fault.
Now, you use these videos sometimes when you're communicating with an owner. And Tammy, tell me what your experience has been when you deal with owners that want to list a property with us for sale or rent, and they know that we have this video tool that we use.
Okay. I have an example. We had a referral from an attorney. A couple of brothers had inherited a property that they had never seen. They live out of the country, and they had interviewed several real estate agents already. We were the only one who had the training to show them the video, what the condition of the property was and what needed to be done to make the property marketable.
And so you did a video. Did you do it after you listed the house or before?
No, we did it before we listed. It was a condition that they make certain repairs to the home prior to us listing the home.
How many thousands of dollars of repairs do you think they're going to end up doing?
We're looking at $5,000 to $10,000.
$5,000 to $10,000.
Mm-hmm.
And is that going to make obviously your life easier when you try and either rent or sell a property that's in good shape, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, good. And so when you got the video into the hands of the owner, how much follow-up discussion was there for you to persuade or sell the owners on what was necessary at the property?
There really wasn't a lot of discussion. There was a lot of agreement into what we proposed.
And so, that one video talks about how powerful these inspection videos are for dealing with tenants when they move out. And Tammy's been with us for a number of years. And what's interesting is this is a tough job that we do. In fact, there's a lot of opportunity for fighting and stress in what we do. And anything that we can do as a business owner or an employer to equip and enable our staff to have a better quality of life is the best investment we can do in our company. And because if property managers get burned out from fights and they quit, that costs a lot. And so this is a wonderful way to preserve sanity in your company. Highly recommend it. And you also saw Tammy talk about owners, and we're about to go into that segment right now, where she was able to list a property, and the final number was closer to $15,000 worth of upgrades, repairs, and improvements that the property needed. And these people had inherited the property and had never even been to see it. We told them, save your money on coming to see it and spend it on the property. We'll send you the video. And that's exactly what they did. Do you think they have good loyalty with us, especially when they consider us against a company that doesn't do that type of service for them? And what's funny is they actually paid us for those videos. So this is a real win-win-win for owners, tenants, and managers. And I love being able to do this in our company. So let's talk about using videos to speak for us. Sometimes owners are not always ready to speak with us at length about maintenance, and they sometimes will hide from a problem, as Kevin called it in our earlier success story. Sometimes they'll interrupt, discuss, or even argue, and really prolong and sometimes thwart our efforts to get the funds we know we need in order to get them the tenants that they want. And so sometimes if you don't have a video, you have that situation where you say to the owner, the carpets are really shot. It's time to put new ones in. And they say, well, could you clean them and see if they could go a little longer? And the video says this sort of thing for us so much more. And then there's the unfortunate instances when you might have to actually deliver bad news to an owner. And we had that happen last month at my company when some tenants with perfect credit, no criminal background, decided that it would be a good idea to grow marijuana in their garage. And when the DEA busted them, the DEA called the owner to let them know that they had just busted their house. And of course the owner was about 1,000 miles away and was very, very upset and disturbed. So we ran over there. Okay, we are here at 11200 North 164th Court in Jupiter. This is Todd Breen on March 31st, 2011. We're doing an inspection video after the Drug Enforcement Agency informed us that our residents were growing marijuana here. We're going to see if our key works. We understand that... Hello, real estate agent, anyone home? So we have boxes of electrical equipment, ballasts for their hydroponic lights, all around on the floors. And the DEA informed us that they thought it was in the garage where they were actually growing, and I can see the potting soil in here. There's the grow lights on the ceiling. So it looks like they put duct boards all over the ceiling and walls in here. And that may be an additional AC unit that they installed just for this purpose. There's the ballasts. And then that's the new electrical panel that they installed to run all of their lights. That's the original house meter right there, or meter can. So we're going to have a little bit of work ahead to restore the electric and remove all of this ductwork from the garage. Okay, so before we go on, I want to talk about that video. We sent that to the owner the same day of the DEA bust. And the owner was very frantic, wondering what was going on. And that was actually an edited version, just to show you guys kind of, parts of it. The longer version would have taken 10 minutes to show him. But he watched the video and then sent a link to his wife at work, and she watched the video, and they both agreed that the damage wasn't that major and that everything was pretty manageable. And so they both decided that they didn't need to come to town to see the property and that they would leave it in our hands. The next day when I called to follow up with the owner said, "You know what, Todd, I was really upset when that happened yesterday, but you got right out there, you got us the video the same day, which I think is amazing." And he said, "That video really set my mind at ease." And we talked at length about what needed to happen at the property. And he said, "Go ahead and take care of it, and I know I'll get a video of all the work when it's done." And so the owner was very relieved to get this video. Now, it's interesting that the electric at that house was shut off, and I was in a room that was totally blacked out, the grow room, and you noticed that I could still show you things. And we've actually developed the right tools to take with us to always get a good video, no matter whether it's good lighting or bad, high wind or no wind, we can get a good video. And so we actually list current recommendations in our member section of our site where you could buy that equipment. That equipment that gave that quality of a video is available for less than the cost of 10 video fees that we charge our owners. And that is kind of interest to you, because I know some of you are saying, well, can I get the right equipment and how much will it cost? We'll talk about that. So if you're currently inspecting your properties before and after each tenancy, I take it you are, then are you charging the owner for these inspections? The majority of people say they are not, and yet owners expect you to do these inspections, and they are willing to pay you to do those if you'll give them these videos. Time after time, when I've recommended this program to property management company owners, they report back that they had zero resistance to this new fee for charging these videos. So we've just shown you how you can increase revenues and make yourself more credible and more trustworthy and reliable with these videos. You might be asking, well, how do I do it? Well, we used to have a long list, and then I said, I'm going to make a training series for my staff because I want them all done the same way. Okay, so we're here at a property. We're going to show you how to do a pre-move-in inspection video. Now, a pre-move-in inspection video is designed to, obviously, with any good video, you want to turn on every light switch that you can. Open up every window blind. You see I've got these blinds all the way up and open. That way we get in as much light as possible. So that goes on, and we have literally systemized how we do our pre-move-in and post-move-out property condition videos. And we've done them all uniformly for 17 years at my company. So you can look at the before and after in sequence and know that they are going to show the same data each time. That's so important, guys, and that's part of this training that we make available to you here at virtuallyincredible.com. So let's have some fun with inspection videos. We actually can email the work orders to our tradespeople with a link to the move-out video. And some of our tradespeople say that they use that to know what equipment to bring with them to do their work. Some of them actually bid from a video, and that's pretty forward thinking. But some of them have looked at our properties long enough that when they see the video, they pretty well know what it's going to cost, and they just send us the bid. Also, before and after each tenancy, we actually do have the make, model, and serial number on all appliances. We have all fixtures, window treatments, ceiling fans, all inventoried. And that's a lot of work if you're doing it in writing. Owners, they give you a property and they move out of town or out of the country for 10 years. Then they come back and they're like, whoa, this place doesn't look like I remember it. We do an owner takeover and an owner return video, and so should you. And I'll tell you why. Owners can forget the condition they gave it to us. And these videos document the work that was needed when the owner finished moving out at midnight. And they also document the fixtures and appliances that the owners left. Let's go back to that last one. How many of you actually look forward to calling the lady of the house when she's en route to her new home in another town and saying, you know, we appreciate how you left the place for us, but it's dirty and we need to clean it. That doesn't go over real well when you call somebody and tell them that. So what we generally do is we videotape it. We send them the video with a bid and say, hey, we know it was late and you moved in a hurry and you left the place great. We have a couple of recommendations and here's the bid, and we're going to see to it that they get done. And it smooths that little problem over quite well. Also, the fact that these videos last forever and survive our failing memory and employee turnover is priceless with us. It's so priceless that we don't charge to do these videos. These are to protect us. Now, training videos, they're easy to make. If you can set a camcorder up in front of on a tripod in front of you and talk in it, you can actually create training videos. And so we've actually created as much as 28 hours of training videos at my company so that a new hire can have orientation to property management before they start to work with us. And it saves time and standardizes our processes and documents our vital procedures. Let's talk about marketing our business with videos. Videos can become your unique value proposition. If you go on your website and say, hey, we use videos to video tours and inspection videos, owners and tenants see that. It makes you different. It's your unique value. And using video testimonials, you can let others sell your business for you. And we have a complete series that's ready to get published in our member section on how to get 100 video testimonials online in 100 days. Overwhelming your competition with this type of viral testimonial type of thing is powerful. Websites with videos will keep people on your site longer. That's a proven statistic, so you need to get some videos on your sites. And traffic to your YouTube videos is, again, awesome for your search engine optimization. It gets you ranked higher on Google. Blogging. We actually have videos in our blogs. It means less writing for us and less reading for our subscribers. And using speech recognition technology, Google actually crawls our videos. And it takes dictation on the audio track using speech recognition. And it says, this video contains these spoken words. So we'll serve it up on these searches for those words. That's amazing technology. And again, it gives your site a lot more power. So if you're going to become a video manager, you're going to need to know, hey, what equipment should I get? How should I name and store my videos? How do I back them up? What connection speed should I get? It's a lot of work, and we have all of that training online in our member section, and we specifically show you how to make sure that your videos don't get lost, how to make sure you can find them, because if you have hundreds or even thousands of videos stored and you have equipment failure or they weren't named properly and you can't find what you want when you want it, what good was it to take it? So let's talk about a look ahead now. I believe the quality of videos will improve as people realize how easy it is to use videos in the industry, especially with training like what we offer. And soon customers will actually come to expect videos, and managers who don't offer video will begin to lose market share. I'm seeing that in the David versus Goliath series that we're running right now. Because what happens now is in each market area where someone buys our system and starts using inspection videos and video tours, they start commanding the market. And that could be someone new starting out in their home or a smaller business. And if the larger business isn't doing this, people are going to go with the newer cutting edge business. And so this next video that you're about to watch is an interview with someone who actually found a new competitor taking market share from them. And so stay tuned and see what Dave Holt has to say about our video. Okay, we're here with Dave Holt, and Dave, you're the former president of the National Association of Residential Property Managers in America. How are you doing today?
Doing great, Todd. Thanks.
Awesome. Well, I know that you're one of the biggest and oldest firms in your market area, and you have an interesting story about how you came to start using videos at your business, and I thought I'd ask you to share it with us.
That's great. It was actually a recent listing agreement. Went out to meet with an owner, and they asked me a question I hadn't ever gotten before. And they asked if I ever use video, and I said, no, I don't use video. They said, well, one of your competitors does, and unfortunately, they went with that company versus me. So I started searching, trying to learn more about this. Found your information through a webinar that I just stumbled upon that you were giving, and bought your stuff, and I'm glad I did.
Well, let's talk for a minute before we go about listings and videos as a listing tool. How much would you say you spend each month on advertising in order to get somebody to list their home with you?
Well, online, I'm spending about $1,000 a month. I spend more in direct mail marketing and other things, but about $1,000 a month online. Yeah.
Well, we're spending similar budgets, and recently I put a video and an animation on my main page of my website, and I found that it tripled the number of people calling to list their home with us just because I put this video and animation on our website. And that made me wonder if maybe that wouldn't be something that other company owners would like, because you might get double or triple the business. And so would you be interested in that when it became available for your site?
Oh, absolutely. If I can be gaining 3 times what I'm doing now for less than what I'm paying, it's a no-brainer.
Okay. Dave Holt, thank you for joining us.
All right, no worries.
We call this strategy the game changer. And Dave is a very respected peer in the industry. And he's got a lot going on. He's the area's oldest, largest. And if a new competitor without the credentials can come along and win the listings because they're offering this, I think it speaks to the fact that this is what the market wants. And so the 17 years of experience that we put into our training is invaluable at getting you up and running without a lot of errors. More importantly is that when you promote the fact that you offer videos, you're going to win business. And so along those lines, we've actually come up with a way to customize this animation that we created for our own website. This animation was created to help us get listings at my management company, and it works. And so the agent standing in the center is actually a caricature from a photograph of me. And if you send us your photo, we can give you the same caricature, and you can animate yourself as the agent. And the video tour that plays in the middle of this animation, which you'll see in a moment, could actually be your video tour that you send to us, and it gets inserted in the animation. So let's have a look at what this looks like in case you wanted to put something like this to work for you on your website. Folks, here we are at this 3-bedroom, 2-bath home in the Hamptons, and it's a beautiful place. Before I give you a tour of the home, I'd like to give you a quick look at your neighborhood so you get an idea where you'll be staying. Now, the Hamptons is an HOA.